So today we're gonna talk about the pedal technique, your kick drum pedal technique, like the basics of it. And I also wanna talk about the drum parts. I mean, of course, how they're called and what they do musically. What do they represent musically on a song? So for you to have an idea when you're playing more or less in the beginning, so you're gonna develop your own ideas of it. So maybe what I want to tell you is just a guide for you to start thinking, and you create your own path later on about that. All right, so here we are. The drum kit. Have the hi-hat, snare, and kick drum. So these three, they're the most important items for you to create a basic rhythm. People gonna be moving mostly with the kick drum and the snare. Those two are the ones that make people feel like dancing and moving. So the kick drum has like more this hidden feeling on the body. It makes people feel this heat of low frequencies on their body. It's not so much in your face. The snare is like always there, pa pa pa, coming to you in your face, and people are snapping, the fingers and stuff. Then the hi-hat is what break in between both the snare and the kick drum. They're mostly on pop music really steady, and the hi-hat might be the one that swings things more. It's more percussive, sounds like a shaker and stuff. So for example, in a blues, the shuffle happens mostly on the hi-hat, and the snare and the kick drum might be the same as a rock rhythm, and what differentiates both rhythms is the hi-hat. Then we have the toms, which these are called toms, tone toms, and we have the floor tom. They are more like in between parts of the song, like they make things more start from the beginning, so to say. Once you get tired about something, hit the toms and start the rhythm again. You're gonna be enough for people to reset and restart from the beginning. They are really used more also in the low parts of the song, when you have a quiet part, or you can create also rhythms with them in more a tribal style. Also the floor tom, for example, you can, instead of playing the hi-hat, you could play the floor tom with the right hand. It would serve as a ride. Of course, then we have the ride, which can be a variation from the hi-hat. For example, you play the chorus or the verse on the hi-hat, and you play the chorus on the ride, for example. So it's just like a variation of the same thing. Then you have the crash cymbal. Most of the time you're going to be hitting the crash together with the kick drum. Most of the time, not always. And they are there to accentuate parts of the guitar. They're there to make things, transitions, like stand out more. So the beginning of the chorus, bah, the end of the chorus, bah. I was hitting that. And like accentuating guitar parts, for example. Dun, 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 can be a dun, bam, dun, dun. Like you could do that, accentuating, emphasizing guitar parts or bass parts or so on. The same thing goes for the snare and for the kick drum. You can emphasize what the guitar player is doing, what the bass player is doing, mixing them both, So snare, kick drum, hi-hat, tom-toms, floor tom, ride, crash cymbal, crash, and the China cymbal, which is like a crash but in a different shape and sounds a bit different. Let's talk about the pedal technique. I just want to show you the basics of it. What you do is mostly lay your feet right on the pedal, like the most obvious way, with your heel down. That's how it's called. And the other way is to do the heel up, where you lift the back of your feet and keep the tip of your feet there on the front. Some people like to bury the beater on the head, so they hit the kick drum and they leave the beater there. Some other people, they, like me, you hit the kick drum and you leave it outside. The only difference between both things is that when you leave the beater there, it kills the sustain of the pedal, of the sustain of the bass drum. So it's a much shorter sustain. And the heel up is a much stronger hit on the drums. So dynamically speaking, is if you want to hit really hard, you're going to be using the heel up. If you want to hit softer, the heel down. And the heel down, you need more muscles here in the front. And is might be a bit harder for you to play faster like that. Although for some situations I prefer that, and a lot of drummers just play like this too. You know, I started just playing like this, to be honest, but it was at a point of my life was not so strong anymore, and people required me to play stronger. Although thing you can do if you sit a bit far away from the drums is to place your heel outside of the pedal, and your feet is like halfway in the pedal, you know? It's not fully there, like this, but it's like more to the back. That's alright too. You can play heel down like this. So that's it. If you like the video, subscribe for the channel. Please like the video. It would help me a lot. And I left on the description, I left a link for the video, which is an exercise for you to start doing more drum rolls, or having a kind of getting this freedom of starting to put your hands around the drum kit and coming back to the rhythm. Might be a bit too fast for you. If that's the case, go in the settings of YouTube and slow down the video. And keep doing the other exercises, also really important. Okay, that's it.